Hello, my name's David Tompson. I'm the Business Studies and Economics instructor at the UK School of Business in Tashkent. Today I'm going to talk to you about doing your university studies in the UK. This is what I'm going to talk about today. There's 6 topics. I'm going to talk about the quality of UK education. I'll talk about the entrance requirements to get into UK universities. I'll talk about how much it's going to cost and the possibility of getting a scholarship. We'll look at the work opportunities that are available both while you study and after you study. We'll look at why you should consider starting your studies at the UK School of Business in Tashkent. And finally, I'll talk about what I think is your biggest challenge when it comes to making the transition from the Uzbekistan education system to the UK education system. Let's start by talking about the quality of UK education. Why would you want to go to the UK? One good reason is because obviously your education will be in English. English is the global language. Many international firms demand that you can speak English well. So by doing your degree in the UK, you'll ensure that your English is perfect. It's also the case that UK degrees are recognized worldwide. You'll have no problems with people saying, "Oh, I don't know if we can trust that degree." You show them you've got a British degree, they will recognize that you have a degree. 11 of the UK universities are listed in the world's top 100. That number depends on which top 100 you look at, but it's a well-represented country there in the top 100. This year, 2020, 2 of the Nobel Prize winners are from the UK. And in fact, out of 189 Nobel Prize winners throughout the whole of history, the UK has provided 133 of them. So both these statistics here about the number of universities in the world top 100 and the number of UK Nobel Prize winners gives you an indication of the high quality of the British university education system. Let's start with a quick comparison of the Uzbekistan and the UK education systems, because there's an important point in here for you. In Uzbekistan, you go to school for 11 years and then you graduate with your diploma. In the UK, you go to school for 13 years and then you do something called A-levels. So that gap between the number of years you've spent in school in Uzbekistan and the number of years that students in England have spent at school means that you, as Uzbekistani students, will need a foundation year. That's a year that goes between your high school in Uzbekistan and university in the UK. And one of my colleagues, Camilla, has given a talk on what's involved in a foundation year. I recommend that you watch that. This isn't something that's just for Uzbekistani students. Many international students need a foundation year. Students from China, Japan, Morocco, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and so on, they all need foundation years as well. It's just something that you will have to do. Let's look at the duration of the courses at university in the UK. Most bachelor's degrees in the UK are just 3 years. If you want then to go on and do a master's degree, that will take you just 1 more year in the UK. There are also things in the UK that are called integrated master's degrees, and that's your bachelor's degree and your master's degree wrapped up together in one package that will last 4 years. After you've done your master's, if you want to go on and do a doctor, then that'll take you another 3 years. Now there's another possibility, and one that I think is really worth thinking about. You can take your bachelor's degree and you can add in another year that's called a sandwich year, so it becomes a 4-year bachelor's degree sandwich course. How does that work? Well, you go to university, you do your first year of study at university. Then you go on to the second year, do your second year of study at university, and then for for the third year, you do the sandwich year, where you're not studying at university. And there are two possibilities for the sandwich year. One is that you do a year of work placement, and I'll come back to this and why I strongly recommend you do it. The other possibility for your sandwich year is a year of study abroad. Within study abroad, there are also two possibilities. You could use that study abroad year to learn another language. You could go to a partner university in France or in China or in a Spanish-speaking country or Japan and spend that year learning another language. You could also use that year to go and study abroad in another partner university in an English-speaking country and basically just take university classes within that other country. So you could go to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United States and spend a year studying at a university there. When you finish your sandwich year, you go back to university and you finish your final year of studies. So your bachelor's degree now takes 4 years, but it's 3 years at university and 1 year somewhere else. So these are some of the entrance requirements for UK universities. These are for business courses. Now students in the UK take A-levels, and they typically take 3 A-levels, and they'll get a letter grade A, B, C, D for those A-levels. So the entrance requirements are usually given in terms of letter grades for 3 subjects. Foundation years are very similar. Foundation years will usually give you 3 letter grades for different subjects as well. In addition, you'll need an English language score. The most common score that's asked for is from an IELTS exam. So to study business at somewhere like Manchester, which is a World Top 100 university, to take the management course, you will need to get 7.0 in IELTS and you need to get straight A's in your subjects. Leeds, another top 100 university, their business economics course, you still need to be a straight A student, but they will accept you with IELTS 6.5. Then we have other universities there to show you that you can actually get in with lower grades, B's or even C's, but you will still need an IELTS of 6.0. This table also shows that there are more courses available than you might think of. It's not just, I will go to university and study business. You could do business and public relations at Liverpool John Moores University. And you could do sports business management at Manchester Metropolitan University as well. Okay, they were business courses. Now engineering courses, you see the same thing. There are universities for A grade students, universities for B grade students, universities for C grade students. Manchester now only needs IELTS 6.5 from their engineering students. Leeds also have dropped their IELTS requirement to 6.0, but even the C grade universities will require IELTS 6.0. Essentially, IELTS 6.0 is the minimum language score you need to study at university in the UK. Now let's talk about costs. The numbers I'm going to give you are costs in British pounds. There's the conversion rate that you can use for that. £1 is worth about 1.3 US dollars, about 13,500 Uzbekistan som. Costs come in 2 forms. There are your tuition fees, and these depend on the university that you're going to. Some examples then, the University of Manchester, that's a top 100 university again, £25,000 per year. The University of Salford, which is also in the city of Manchester, it's a lower ranked university, £14,100 per year. Even lower ranked Liverpool Hope University, £11,400 per year. Now these tuition fees are only your tuition fee at university. This does not include your living expenses. So we need to add living expenses into this as well. Obviously, how much you spend on living expenses depends on how you want to live. Universities recommend that you need to put aside between £6,000 and £9,000 for an academic year. That's the 9 months that you're studying. It doesn't include the summer holidays. However, when you apply for a visa, the UK Embassy will expect you to be able to show that you have something like £9,200 available to pay for your first year of living expenses. The next question is, okay, can I get a scholarship? Can I get somebody to pay that money for me? Yes, you can, but you're not going to get all the money you need. So there are some scholarships that are given out automatically. You don't need to apply for them. You'll automatically be considered for them. These might get you £2,000 to £3,000 off your tuition fee. There are other scholarships that you need to apply for, and these might go up to £5,000. These will be given on merit, either academic merit because you're an A-grade student, or possibly because you've done other things outside academics, like volunteered or something like that. Thing to note is that it's actually hard to get more than 1/3 of your fees in terms of scholarships. Fees, not living expenses. And it's essentially almost impossible to get more than half of your fees in the form of scholarships. Now let's move on and talk about work opportunities. Now I need to talk about 3 different possibilities here. First of all, there's working during your studies, the times that you have classes and the vacations around that. During your studies, your student visa allows you to work for up to 20 hours per week during term time, the times that you actually have classes. You can work full-time during the university vacations. Now, the kind of jobs that people get while they're studying are, as the picture shows, typically things like flipping hamburgers. You could be working in the hospitality industry, restaurants, cafes, bars, or you might be working in shops and supermarkets on the till, stocking the shelves. The jobs that students get like this are typically minimum wage jobs, and they're not very exciting either. The minimum wage at the moment in Britain is £8.20 an hour. If you work 20 hours a week during term time, that could bring you in £600 to £700 a month. I talked about sandwich programs earlier. Well, if you do a sandwich year, which is also known as, also known as work placement or industrial experience or professional experience, those are the phrases to look for when you're looking at the courses. This is 1 year of full-time work after the second year of your studies. Now, unlike the previous jobs, if you do a sandwich year, it will be a proper graduate level job. Companies come looking for students from the university to give them good jobs to train them up. You will get paid for this. The salary will depend on the company and the job. Typical salaries for a sandwich year are between £15,000 and £20,000. I strongly recommend that you look for courses at university that come with a sandwich year. Now, the final opportunity for work is after you've graduated. At the moment, the UK gives out a 2-year post-study work visa. So students who have graduated from UK universities can stay on for 2 more years, giving them time, first of all, to look for a job, and if they can find a job, to work. In the UK, the average graduate starting salary is £25,000 a year. That's the sort of money you'd be looking at if you get a job. Now, your best chance of getting a job is if you have work experience. Where are you going to get work experience from? Well, by doing a sandwich year. That 1 year you do is your sandwich year, your work placement. That can be the work experience that you need to get a proper job after you graduate. In fact, about 60% of the students who do a sandwich year are offered a job after they graduate by the company that they do their sandwich year with. Again, I strongly recommend you look for a degree with a sandwich year. Why should you think about coming to the UK School of Business? Well, first of all, you are going to need to do a foundation year. Now, it's true you can do your foundation year in the UK, or you could come to the UK School of Business in Tashkent. So why would you choose ours? We have a highly experienced teaching staff, and I'll talk about them in a minute. We've got great facilities. You can see some of the pictures there. Now, why do the foundation year in Tashkent at UKSB if you can also do it in the UK? Well, the foundation courses that we run at UKSB are not UKSB foundation courses. These are foundation courses that are organized by UK organizations, the International Foundation Group or NCUK. And you can do those courses in the UK. If you do them with us in Tashkent, it is the same course of the same quality. However, the tuition in the UK is nearly twice as much as the tuition in Tashkent. And you will also need to pay your living expenses in the UK, which is much more than you pay living in Tashkent. Roughly speaking, to do your foundation year in the UK will cost you about 3 times as much money as it would cost you to do exactly the same foundation course with us in UKSB in Tashkent. As an economics instructor, my degrees are in physics, business and education. They're from universities in Australia, New Zealand, the USA and the UK. My work experience, I spent 13 years as a university professor of physics, and then for the last 18 years I've been teaching and managing foundation year programs around the world, so countries like China, France, India, Ireland, Japan, Morocco, Peru, the UK and Zambia are countries that I've worked in. The third member of our teaching staff is Islam Al-Hadari. He's the information technology instructor with a degree in industrial engineering from a university in Egypt. His work experience, he's been an IT lecturer, a project manager, and Islam is also an entrepreneur. He runs a digital marketing agency, and Islam has worked in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Uzbekistan. Let me finish off by talking about what I think is going to be your biggest challenge that you face in going to study in the UK. It's called the academic culture gap. Let's start by talking about what culture is. One definition of culture, or way of thinking about it, is culture is the way we do things around here. In Uzbekistan and the UK have different cultures. We do things differently around here. Here are some of the examples in food and drink. You start to think about food in Uzbekistan, you maybe think of plov. In the UK, it might be fish and chips. The way you greet people is different. There's still a handshake here, but no hand on your heart in the UK. Relationships between people, within families, between people of different ages, between the sexes, they're handled differently in the two countries. The way that people dress is different. These are obviously not what people wear in the street every day. Religion is different. Most people in Uzbekistan, of course, are Muslims. Most people in the UK are Christians. It's not here a case of one being better or worse than the other. The cultures are different, and we need to adapt. You will need to adapt to UK culture when you get there. Now, you also have to think about the academic culture. If culture is the way we do things around here, academic culture is the way we learn and study around here. Your experiences in school in Uzbekistan are not the same as the experiences of UK students in school in the UK. We do things differently in the classroom. Again, it's not better or worse, it's just different. The relationships between teachers and students, you'll have to get used to a new way of doing that. Student-to-student relationships, classroom behavior. the quantity of reading that you have to do. On a foundation year, you can expect to be reading 1 or 2 chapters of a book for each class. The time you should spend studying outside of class. On a foundation year, that's going to be about 1 hour of self-study for every hour of class. And these are things that may be different to what you're used to. Assignment writing. You'll be asked to write assignments of 1,500 words based on your reading, word processed. And exams, both the content, how many multiple choice questions you have, if you have multiple choice questions, are they short answer questions, are they essay questions, these will be different as well as the circumstances in which you take them. Well, that's the end of my talk. I'd be willing to take questions. Thank you very much. I hope to see you studying with us on a foundation year at the UK School of Business in Tashkent. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.